Flow. I'm royalty.
Yo, it's your boy Young Fly than the rest.
And this your girl Tink coming in live.
And we are NerdFlow. We are a man down today, but of course we're going to roll on. Our other co-host on NerdFlow is Checkmate. Had to do his daily duties of getting called into work, so you'll see him on some episodes further down the road. So, but yeah, this is NerdFlow. This is a podcast all about video games, anime, comic books, and superhero stuff. So let's get into it. First off, though, being it is the first episode of NerdFlow, I want to share with the listeners, listen to the first episode, kind of like, what are our passions, tell a little bit about ourselves. So we'll kick it off with Tink first. Let you go ahead.
All right, this your girl Tink. I have a really big, major fan base on Marvel and DC comics. I'm a Marvel and DC fan since age 2, knowing that Superman is possibly the best superhero ever created. I know I have some others that might disagree with me on that, but
yes,
well, we ain't gonna call no names. But other highlights that I love anime, anything dealing with Naruto or Dragon Ball Z, anything dealing with pretty much Japanese animated. Sailor Moon was my first hook on anime and different novels from Japan that kind of got me started at an early age. So, and just about anything gaming, Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat, all the classics, Street Fighter, just about anything that gets your blood pumping on a match between anybody online. That's pretty much what I love to do.
All right, yeah.
Yo, y'all already know it's your boy. You know what I'm saying? As y'all can tell from when we did NerdFlow on the other podcast, I specialize in anime. First anime that I got into was Dragon Ball when I lived overseas. So I've been watching Dragon Ball since the 80s. So I go all the way back with it. And to prove that the greatest superhero ever created, his name is Kakarot, aka Goku. But I specialize in, any type of video games. I love RPGs, shooters, adventure games, anything of that nature. Marvel, I like Marvel more than DC because to me, Marvel has more animated characters than DC. DC is, to me, I grew up on Marvel because Marvel was seen to be more for kids and more grounded in fantasy world, where DC was more rooted in almost real life a little bit more. So it was more imaginary to me. And I love movies, like anything like Transformers, Star Wars. I'm a Disney fanatic also, so I mean that's me.
All right. Well, if you recognize the voice, I'm Royalty. For those who are first-time listeners in general, me and Young are from the Hip Hop Rejects podcast. That's the hip-hop oriented podcast is where we're from. This is actually our second show that we do now. But for me, I'm a gamer to the heart for the most part. Big into, as far as kind of what I play now, I'm big into Destiny, WWE 2K, The Division. I love adventure games, shooters, of course. More of a Battlefield guy than a Call of Duty guy. I'll say it's primarily, I'm slowly getting into RPGs and things of that nature, so I like that. As far as, and then I'm a very superhero, not really I'm slowly trying to get into comic books more as far as reading comics. But I'm a big superhero head as far as like shows like The Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, stuff like that. Love those shows. Go all the way back to like Smallville. That's how deep a fan I am when it comes to those type of shows. So, and then as far as anime, big on Dragon Ball, Cowboy Bebop, those type of animes I'm into. So that's it. All right, man. So it's NerdFlow. So a couple things we're going to get into. Like I said, we're all about video games, anime, and comic books. We're going to touch on some things in video games in relation to the new Nintendo Switch. We're going to talk about some new things going on in the Dragon Ball Super episodes, and we're also going to touch on some other things with really a lot of stuff going on in superhero movies from with Ben Affleck stepping down from directing the Batman. So I'm going to touch on a lot of things on episode 1. So we're going to get things going. So we got Nintendo Switch. First off, yay or nay? I'm more yay on the Switch right now.
Yeah, me too.
Yay.
Okay. What I would say, anybody can take this one. As far as with, okay, why?
One thing for me, they showed Zelda on it. I've been like itching for a new Zelda game like ever since the Mask of Majora. And like anything, the ones that they had on the Wii and stuff just didn't do it for me. So, I like what I've seen in this Zelda so far, and the fact that I can play it on my TV, then take it with me, because Royalty knows me and Royalty work at the same spot. If I buy the Switch, I'm more than likely going to have it in my briefcase. And while I'm in the office, I give myself a week to beat this new Zelda game, barring the updates.
All right, T.
All right, the fact that you can take this game to go is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like the iPad with the laptops. It's kind of, you don't have to take the whole console out. You can just hook that up, go in your car, roll with it, go to your homie's house, roll with it. Even if he has it hooked up, you can just hook it up to his. It's all really cool and compatible. And the fact that you don't have to stop your gaming theme that you have to, well, I got to put up my game, got to go head to work. On your break, you can just pull it out, just start right back gaming to where you left off. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
So Nintendo's stepping the game up.
Yeah.
About time.
I know, man. The Wii U was a disappointment. Yeah, for me the same. The portability is the biggest thing for me. Another thing is primarily I'm a graphics person, so when it comes into like, I've always wanted Nintendo to get to the point where they're kind of competitive with Microsoft and Sony when it comes to gaming system, but they're so very laxed in their comfort zone, wanting to make games for kids. I got sold on when I saw the presentation. I was kind of sold on it, just like you, Young. I saw Zelda. I saw the new Mario game, Mario Odyssey.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Mario, those are two big things that actually sold me on it. It's just the other thing with them is just, they don't get a lot of third party support, so they got to come with like the other games that are not made by Nintendo. But I feel like me personally, I feel kind of like the launch is kind of weak. I mean, I wish Mario. I know they're holding Mario to holiday 2017. I know that for sure. So
well, I noticed something though. The Switch looks like a slightly bigger Wii U, just black, and it comes with a case you just sit it in so it'll play on your TV, basically. Like, just like literally look at it and you can see it.
Yeah, true. And from some
Like,
other
as far as reimagining the system, they didn't do too hot on that.
no, not at all, not at all. Some other things. A lot of concerns is as far as the accessories. I know some of the accessories are. I mean, gaming. I've been gaming since 4 years old, but the accessories on the Wii, not on the Wii, but the Switch, some of the peripherals are kind of on the expensive side. I know people were tripping about because it takes an SD card as far as for the internal storage. I think they said it'll support up to a 512 gigabyte micro SD card. No,
That's all.
Yeah, but well, that's the highest that they make right now. So, and I think the highest is not even a 512. I think 256 is the high, but it'll support up to a 512.
Yeah, they dropped the ball on that one because had I released that system, I would have invested in coming up with a different way of doing memory where you could have probably just put it on the jump drive or something, because you got jump drives that can go up to, they're producing jump drives that can get up to a terabyte. And that's what's going to hurt, because you got Xbox and PlayStation 4 where you can replace your hard drive in them with just a regular portable hard drive, and you can get as many, you can go over terabytes.
Yeah.
So if you're a real gamer and you only got 256 gigs to work with, it's going to suck.
Exactly. Even with the and see, that's the other thing too with the Switch is like PS4. I'm actually in the beta for the 4.5 update they're going to roll out in the next couple months. So right now you can actually take on the Xbox where you couldn't buy any additional storage. You only could get what was on the actual console. You couldn't change out the hard drive on it. With an Xbox, it would take a portable 3.0 USB hard drive. Now the PS4 has that capability, and it can support up to an 8 terabyte portable hard drive. Plus, you can change out the hard drive and upgrade on top of it. So you got tons and tons of storage on the PS4.
Because in my PS4 right now, I just put, it's a portable hard drive. I just put a 2 terabyte hard drive in it, like back in November. So, and it's simple to do, and the only thing you're doing is just updating the system with files that you get off the PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
PlayStation.com. But, like Nintendo, if they're really going to have to eventually end up investing in getting a larger size SD card developed, because I can't see what is harkening back to is the days of memory cards.
Yeah.
And people of this day have gotten so used to storing all their data on their systems that we're not trying to go backwards.
Right. Yeah, so the other thing about the Switch, this other part that's kind of got me, still kind of positive on it, but the other part that's got me kind of salty is like the chat portion. They're saying it's going to be a phone app, and I'm like, for you to have your phone to chat with people if you're going to play online and not have any type of support via the already provided, controller, just like Xbox and PS4, the port is right there on the controller. The controller is like PS4. PS4 has a speaker on the controller, so that's another downside to it. But overall, beside those points, they can always change those things if the technology is there for them to add that support to it, as long as the ports are there. But I don't think the phone thing with chat is not going to work that well for them. They're going to do something different.
Have they rolled out a price on it? Like, it's dropping next month.
Yeah, it's dropping. It's $299. Coming out March 3rd. Same day as Logan.
But see, I'm not a Generation 1 person, so I get the second generation.
Right.
I'm first generation. For the most part. I'm not standing in line guy, but I'm launch day guy. So
I like to see them work out all the kinks first, and then your girl be in there.
yeah.
And
Good.
And to our fellow nerds out there, I just want to shout out something. In this inaugural episode, my girl Tink hit the scene in the Marvel t-shirt. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just letting y'all know she came highly prepared for
exactly. Wolverine, Spider-Man.
Episode. Yeah, I was saying a bunch of cats on there. So, you know what I'm saying? She hit it hard. She showed me and royalty up on this.
Should have worn my Flash t-shirt, man. Dang.
Just, you know what? I got something for her. I'll be right back.
Oh, wow. Man.
All right, man. While we wait on Young, I'm going to move on to Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 came out a couple weeks back. I haven't had a chance to get my hands on it. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with a lot of you. Resident Evil 7 looks really scary. Like,
yes.
Really scary.
Not the poo shirt.
In the famous words of my boy, maximum effort.
Merc with the mouth.
Yep. So Young just put on his Deadpool shirt. See, I'm gonna go dig up my dad. You know what? I'm gonna stick with my shirt I got on. I'm not going to go change. Okay, but yeah, Young, we was talking about Resident Evil 7. So Resident Evil 7 is from the Let's Plays I've seen from a lot of the Twitch streamers that I follow. Yeah, it's a different type of Resident Evil. But overall, though, it's been doing, as far as in sales, it's been doing pretty good. Like I said, it's very scary. I'm skeptical about picking it up. I want to pick it up, but you know.
First of all, no video game is gonna scare me. Hey, but there's only one video game that scared me.
No, hold on, man.
And that was
Parasite Eve.
The Parasite Eve didn't scare me. I'm gonna tell you what I did. I'm gonna tell you how this happened. I was at home alone. Mm-hmm. It was storming outside, lightning, thunder, all this.
Mm-hmm. That's what
I had all the lights off. I was playing Resident Evil 2. And you know, when you go in the police station and you walking down the hallway and it just catch you off guard and the zombie busts through the window, busts through the boarded window and grab you. Yeah, that caught me off guard then. Ever since then, I've been prepared. I refuse to let myself get startled again. And this was Resident Evil 2 on 64, so I was a kid. So, you know what I'm saying? It don't even count. But, like, ever since Resident Evil 2, I've been like, when it comes to Resident Evil. Honestly, 2 was the best one ever to me.
Now, well, yeah, I mean, 2 is always what everybody kind of remembers and hangs their hat on. I remember I played through 0 on GameCube. 5 was pretty good. 6 and 7 they were trying to do too much action with all the what was it called, time events and all that type of stuff. So they were trying to do too much. But 7 is kind of taking it back to the roots, but it's a little bit different. With, like, I don't know if anybody's played like PT or Outlast or anything like that. Those games on PSN and Xbox Live, and I think Resident Evil kind of like Capcom. They kind of like bit from that genre because those games were so popular going into this. They just kind of like went with that kind of thing with it. But overall, I'm glad to see that Resident Evil is finally getting back to its roots and doing good again, though. So,
like, seriously, to me, 2 was the good one. Was good, but like when games like Parasite Eve, especially Parasite Eve 2. Parasite Eve 2 is what took me away from Resident Evil, along with Silent Hill. The movie sucked, but the games, I like the games.
First movie was good. The second movie was, I don't know what the hell they're doing.
The first movie only had one good scene in it, and that was when the big dude with the pyramid head snatched the skin off the old girl. So that was it. That was a waste of money, in my opinion. But because it wasn't nothing like the game. Like, it was, at least the Resident Evil movies are like the game.
They're nothing like the game. They're completely opposite of the game. I mean,
No,
Alice doesn't exist in the Resident Evil video game world. That's a character they created
but no,
just for the movies.
what I'm saying is she's still dealing with Umbrella. She's still dealing with zombies. She's still dealing with, you know what I'm saying, the stuff that Umbrella does, the big monsters and stuff that you deal with in the game. As far as what I'm, you know what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying is like, that's like the game.
Yeah. All right.
Well, you know they have a whole new version of like with the glasses and the remote, and you actually have the glasses on, so it's kind of like virtual reality type style. And Resident Evil scared me enough. I don't think they need to add anything else to it to make it any more realistic.
Now that's what would turn it up.
Exactly.
If it was on like PlayStation VR or something,
right?
Now
that'll
turn it up.
Resident Evil,
yes,
well, Resident Evil
it
is on VR.
Yes, that's what's like. Oh heck no! It was scary enough. We don't need to add nothing else to this to make it any more scarier.
I'm a cheapskate, so if that PlayStation VR wasn't so expensive, I would get it. Like, I think the last time we talked about it, what is running like almost $300-400 or something like that.
Yeah, PSVR is $399.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't be seeing it no time soon. Anybody out there, you know, I'm gonna put me a wish list up on Amazon. So if y'all love me enough, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and get that for your boy.
Christmas list.
All right, we're gonna move on to Injustice 2. I posted several videos on NerdFlow's YouTube channel and on our Facebook page with some of the beta gameplay. Beta is actually still going on now. Recently they added Blue Beetle. I think they probably come with another update. I'm not sure if they're gonna add another character tomorrow or not, which would be Tuesday. So we'll see. But and Young, you came over to my place, man, and saw and played Injustice 2. What were your thoughts on it?
I don't care for the fighting style on it because it's the beta. You know, it was so redundant. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, after I loaded up Street Fighter today and realized how I was running through it, how redundant it was, it's a fighting game. Of course it's going to be redundant.
All fighting games.
You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was like, but all in all, the graphics and stuff, I like it as far as graphics. Blue Beetle being added is great because he is one of the most underrated DC characters. And which Blue Beetle is it? Is it the original or is it the newest one?
They didn't really say. I mean, of course, just like all the Injustice and God Among Us, they typically add multiple versions of different characters. Like, for example, with Superman, they added like the Man of Steel Superman from the movie. And they added they added the actual Arrow from Arrow, the TV show, as an alternate costume. So, I mean, it could be multiple versions of the character that could be on there. Same thing goes with all the other characters that'll be on there. I'm pretty sure, like Wonder Woman's on. I'm pretty sure when Wonder Woman movie drops, we'll get the movie version as a selected character. So it's some DLC or just updated through a patch, which is how they do most of it. But the RPG element of it, though, it's different from any other fighting game, different from like a Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or anything like that, just because it has the elements with you can change out the armor on the characters, and all the different armors have different stats. And Young, you'll understand this as far as it's more of like it's almost like an RPG fighting game at this point with Injustice. With all the different levels of armor.
I saw that at your house.
Yeah. So I think that part of the game is gonna more than the people who get online and play to be competitive online. I think that element adding the different types of armor and the RPG element is going to keep people kind of more hooked onto the game a whole lot more, and keep people playing and trying to grind out to get that certain type of gear and different sets of gear to make their character look his best. And I think on top of that, from what I saw through the beta, if it's not changed, you can actually level them up through different tiers as well. So that's the thing that NetherRealm has been doing even with Mortal Kombat. So,
quick question.
Yeah.
With this new show, Legion, is Legion supposed to be about Xavier's son?
Yeah, we're gonna get to that, man. We're gonna get there.
He's skipping ahead.
You jumping ahead. You
I
get to
know.
that.
I told y'all work off. I told y'all just how it work, man. Like it's like when it pops in my head, I got to talk about it.
That's why you write it down, because if you know, you're gonna forget it. Yeah. All right, man. We're gonna get to some releases for this month, February 2017. Before we move on to anime, we got WWE 2K17 coming out for PC on February 9th. We got For Honor coming out on Valentine's Day. Also, there's an open beta that starts on the 9th, which is, I think, this Friday. I'll be doing some streaming and getting some footage for that to put up on our YouTube channel, so make sure you guys subscribe to NerdFlow YouTube channel. You got Halo Wars 2 on the 21st, and Halo Wars Definitive Edition. It's the first Halo but remastered for Xbox One. And we also got the PS4 exclusive Horizon Zero Dawn, which is made by the makers who created Killzone. So I'll be picking up Horizon Zero for sure on February 28th. So we're gonna go ahead and swing over to anime. Young, I'll let you take that.
So ever since this show started, talking about Dragon Ball Super. Okay, going back to it. When I first saw Battle of the Gods and they introduced the Super Saiyan God, I was like, okay, cool. And I like how they developed the story since Battle of the Gods concerning the Super Saiyan God situation and with the God of Destruction. So, come to find out, starting next week, we're going into the Universal Tournament. For those of you that's been following Dragon Ball Super, you know that
that's gonna be the
God of
Japanese
everything,
version, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
you know,
you might want to say Japanese, because you got some people that's behind. They on the US one. You know me.
Oh yeah. It'll be a long time before it gets to y'all. But if you have no problem watching subtitles, reading subtitles, then it'll be cool. But so we're finna see Goku, Vegeta, and the rest of the crew actually turn up. We might end up seeing Gohan train with Whis. So if Gohan goes and trains with Whis, then there's a possibility he might get infused with the God Key. And we're gonna see these other different gods of destruction from other universes and the other gods from the other universes. So I'm really excited for the start to see how this is gonna develop over the next. It's predicted that this was gonna last about 6 to 7 months.
Okay.
So.
Question for you, because I haven't looked at I know the Battle of the Gods actual movie. Does that take place before these events in Super, or where does in the timeline does it fall?
Battle of the Gods is when they're first introduced to Beerus. So in the timeline, this is before. This is like, because when they replayed, they made Battle of Gods into part of the series. Mm-hmm. So like if you go back and start from the beginning and watch the show, you're basically, for the first couple of episodes, you're watching the movie Battle of the Gods. So there are slight differences. And like they introduced Resurrection of Frieza. They that was his own separate movie. But unlike all the other Dragon Ball Z movies, these movies are canon because they're part of the series too. Okay. And they're part of the manga. Okay. So
I was kind of confused on that part a little bit.
And other anime news, Baruto, I seen the preview for it, but I haven't seen the date for it. And season 2 of Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans has started. Gundam Unicorn has started. Fairy Tail. And I'm waiting on season 2 of Seven Deadly Sins also.
Okay.
Tank, you got anything on the anime side?
Well, the last Naruto movie that came out, it was pretty awesome. It had where him and Naruto's and Hinata's relationship, how they came to be finally after all these years. They finally got a relationship going. And it was a pretty cool, I don't want to give too much of it away, but it was kind of like the movie we've been waiting for on how they became to be married, how they had kids. It's kind of a little insight on how the relationship started kindling the little fire.
Is that the movie where this demon or whatever kidnapped Hinata and Naruto had to go get her?
That is the one. That's it.
Oh yeah, I saw that one because Sasuke did a player move and like the moon was finna crash into Earth and just Sasuke just came out of nowhere, destroyed it and disappeared. Looked at Kakashi Sensei and just dipped.
He was like, if he's not gonna be here, I'll be here for him. And that was a pretty cool move.
Yeah.
And it's like, look at old Sasuke actually having a heart.
But in the Baruto movie, Sasuke is actually back in the Leaf Village. Because he's the one that trained Baruto. Because Naruto didn't have time to train his own son.
That's thick. Yeah, because he's too busy being
Hokage.
Yeah.
Like Naruto had it but he had a system though, multi-shadow clone, jutsu, and he's in 30 different places at one time. But instead of having his fakes at one of his clones doing the job where he could spend time with his family, he would send the clone home while he sits in the office.
Oh wow.
So, but like I said, waiting on that new Baruto series because he learned the Rasengan better than Naruto did. He doesn't need shadow clones to do it.
And normally the kid always surpasses the parent in the situations.
He don't have the different Rasengans like Naruto though, because Naruto got all of the nature Rasengans now. So
it's a whole different type of training he would have to go through.
Yeah.
But we'll see when it unfolds. Yeah. I can't wait to see how that unfolds.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm just going to move forward to comic books and superhero movies. First thing we got on deck, so Ben Affleck will be stepping down of directing the Batman. Is this good or bad, and why?
This is excellent because he needs to just focus on one thing. We just trying to get you through the movie, Ben. We already hyped you all the way up. You did a great job as Bruce Wayne. And your stunts and the little parts that you was in as Batman, you were cool on that too. But we need you to focus. Stay focused, bruh. We don't need you directing, having to look from the camera, in the camera, from the camera. No, that's too much distraction. We already like you as Batman. Just stay straight. Just play the part, bruh. That's all I ask.
As far as the look, Ben Affleck, he's probably the best suited Batman and Bruce Wayne. But to me, I feel like the best Batman to this day.
Here we go.
The best Batman character was Michael Keaton. To me, Michael Keaton did the best job as Batman.
You know
because it's either George Clooney and them was too cartoony, Val Kilmer just didn't suit the role, period. Christian Bale, he screwed the voice up. And, like, I just didn't see enough of Ben Affleck in Batman vs. Superman. It was just, it seemed to be more about Superman than
I mean, what it was
Batman.
a Superman sequel. It wasn't really a Batman movie. But,
well,
I think it was just enough to keep us intrigued.
Yeah.
Like to be interested in the Justice League coming up. It's more of like a memento of like building up the suspense of, can he top that last movie? Can he be a better Batman than he was in the last one? Just in Suicide Squad. He was in there brief moments in Suicide Squad.
Well, see, this is what DC messed up at. You waited too long. You messed around and let the Avengers, you let Marvel come out with all these movies that's gonna lead up to 2 big movies, which is gonna be Infinity Wars 1 and 2. So, that's what's got DC lacking to me, because you're gonna be too far behind when you should have been you had 3 Superman movie flops, or was it 2?
Well, since Henry Cavill took the role, it's only been really 1. And then if you count Batman vs. Superman as a Superman movie, then you got that one, which that has mixed reviews. Now to get my answer on this one, I think it is a good thing. I agree with Tink as far as with him, he's able to focus more on being Batman. And I even made the comment when watching it, when just seeing the fight scene, because if anybody that has played any of the Batman Arkham games, the fighting style that Batman has in that video game, they basically translated that over into Batman vs. Superman. And he's probably the roughest, brawler I've ever seen as far as in a Batman. So that's one thing that just made me like him altogether, just his whole rough fighting style. So,
I give it that. He is bringing in the Dark Knight. Okay, put it this way. As far as the Dark Knight aspect of Batman, he's better than Christian Bale.
Yeah, definitely better.
I agree. Oh, yeah.
As far as bringing the comic book aspect of Batman, I say Michael Keaton was better.
Now, I think the Christopher Nolan movies told a better story than all the other movies so far.
There you go. When Michael Keaton was brought on the scene, it was more of like a gothic Batman that was kind of original, that brought the
Tim Burton.
Right. And that's what Tim does. He's a very gothic type of director that takes the darkness but twists it in a certain way to where it fits perfectly. And it was nothing like we ever seen before. That's what makes Michael Keaton such a great Batman. I think they're all unique in each of their ways. Like Michael Keaton started it off. Val Kilmer,
the Batman's in the middle where we kept getting different Batmans every time. They don't even count. It was just
right.
They do not count.
They don't even count.
That's why Michael Keaton wanted to do a 3rd Batman movie, but he said he didn't do it when they got rid of Tim Burton as director.
Exactly. Because it's a whole nother vision. Once you get that relationship with a certain director, you want to keep it that way. Because once you start getting those different directors, they have a different vision of what you see. And sometimes it don't click like that.
Now, I can honestly say, in those Batmans in the middle, the best character in all that was Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Yeah, that's the only thing we got from that series of movies was him as the Riddler.
Yep. He was the best Riddler. Yeah, I can agree on that.
Now, to jump on the Suicide Squad real quick, since we did bring that up, I know that's another movie with DC that has some mixture. I guess we can just go ahead and do the Marvel versus DC thing as far as like, what does DC need to improve and, as far as them trying to catch up to Marvel. Like Suicide Squad, I felt that I liked the cast who was casted. Harley Quinn was the star of the show, of course.
Right.
But with the villain that was the villain in the movie, now agree with me if you want to or not, but I feel like there should have been a Justice League Dark movie based on the villain. I could have seen Constantine and a bunch of other members of the Justice League Dark fighting that villain versus them. I felt like they kind of sold it to us like, Joker was the villain. That's kind of how they sold it to us. And Joker was in there. He popped in, probably 3 or 4 times at the most.
Okay, speaking of Jokers. All right, everybody I hadn't heard people say Jared Leto was like one of the best Jokers. In the Joker hierarchy, Mark Hamill is the best Joker.
Well, we know that because he still voices the character in video games and everything.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill is the best Joker. Yeah. Second, number 2 Joker. I know people are going to disagree with me.
Same movie.
Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah.
Jack Nicklaus. Yeah.
Third was Heath Ledger. Fourth was Cesar Romero. Fifth is Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. I think, the other thing is the other rumor that's swirling about that is they say they're supposed to be recasting the Joker. I'm not sure how true that is. I mean, the Joker that was in Suicide Squad, he was a different type of Joker, and everybody knows that reads DC Comics. There were different Jokers through different artists, how they told the Batman story. So, but Heath Ledger is the ideal. He fits the bill as far as body wise, look wise, everything. I feel he was the best.
Right.
I mean, I like the Joker story I want to see told is the Killing Joke.
Yeah.
Well, they already have the anime version, and they got the original cast from the original Batman to voice all of the characters that they had before, which I thought was really cool on that.
But which one? Is it the Killing Joke? The one where the Joker cuts his face off and staples it back on?
No.
When he kidnaps everybody, he kidnaps Alfred, Robin, Batgirl, and he pretty much kills everybody, which makes Batman snap and finally kill him.
Was it that one?
It depends on which universe it's in, because I know that
right.
Yeah, because I know Joker's got killed by somebody else in a different universe. I know in one, I can't remember what version, but I know in one he was killed by Hush. So it's like a bunch of different people who's killed off the Joker other than Batman. But no, I can't remember. I don't think that's the Killing. I don't think it's in the Killing Joke though. I think that's a different one. I can't recall which one though. But as far as with DC versus Marvel, as far as ways they can catch up, I mean, they just really gotta, with Batman versus Superman, thing you gotta understand about Batman versus Superman with people, the mixed reviews that they have about that, it's a Zack Snyder movie. If you've seen 300, it's a difference between moments and scenes. And everybody knows Zack Snyder does moments. If you watch 300, there's tons of scenes where it's just slow motion and no words. And that was what Batman vs Superman was. It was trying to fast forward the story to get the story out so they can try to catch up to where Marvel is pretty much. So
I think everybody's disappointment in that movie was they got Mark Zuckerberg to play Lex Luthor.
That's not really my. that's really not my object. I was kind of up in arms about it when I saw him. Well, because when I saw him with hair, that's the first part that threw me off. But of course, we all know in the very beginning he does have hair. But
Right.
I mean, in the end, when they showed him at the end of the movie, with being bald and all of that, it's kind of growing on. I think we're so used to Lex being this tall,
Tall.
broad-shouldered guy that has a bald head. His build is a little bit different compared to what we're used to seeing. So,
and I think that's what the problem. This Lex seems like a geeky dude.
Yeah, he does.
That's why
I would have figured him more of like a Riddler than a Lex Luthor.
Exactly. I see it as if, you would have had a better chance making that work with Stone Cold being less.
Right. Or you know what? Even The Rock, but Rock has other plans.
The Rock.
Yeah, Rock has other plans. Some Black Adam plans.
Yeah.
But my thing is though, even if you had got The Rock, if you go back and watch the animated Superman, every time they show Lex almost looks black.
Yeah, that Lex in the cartoon was pretty tan, man. I could have swore as a kid he was black. I'm like, man, we got a black Lex now?
Uh-huh.
That dude was pretty tan.
Daredevil, in Daredevil, they made the Kingpin black.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so on the Marvel DC thing, the only thing they really can do, they have to nail Justice League. Wonder Woman looks really good. They gotta nail that. They just basically have to slow down the pace of the movies for the most part and tell a compelling story that takes you up and down and ends with a good climax and everything. You just got to give people moments, man. They just need to follow the Justice League cartoon.
Where they winning at, as far as characters, they say Aquaman is the red-headed stepchild of the DC universe.
Not no more.
Once you got Khal Drago, that's what I said. Once you got Khal Drago, that all changed. Dude is a beast. First off, second off, him playing Aquaman, literally, I'm like, that's the best move they've made so far.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the same thing with Thor. I think they're trying
to bring in. Yeah. They're trying to bring in a different crowd, I believe. I think they're trying to bring in all the ladies, all the fans of all his early work, all the Game of Thrones fans, and they're trying to just bring in a whole new generation to bring into the Justice League. And I think by Jason being on there, it's gonna put a really good strength to Henry and Ben and even Cyborg. This new cat that's playing Cyborg, I'm not too familiar with him.
Yeah, me neither.
But it's going to be an interesting setup. So they're getting all this testosterone, and I think it's going to be a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I think so.
But how they going to go? Are they going to bring in Darkseid?
I think it's going to be the villain from. It's the villain that's at the very end of Batman vs Superman that showed up in the actual ship. It's actually Darkseid's. I think they declare him as his father. He's that's what they're saying. He's maybe the villain, and it may kind of lead to Darkseid eventually. But I think that's where they're going to start with it at.
Okay.
Well, cool. So while we still on comic books, let's talk about the Guardians of the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Man. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt, Star-Lord, Baby Groot. I think Baby Groot gonna take the lead though.
Yeah, all the different scenes we've seen in the trailer. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
He is gonna take the lead and show off on everybody.
Yeah, and I think
And
they gonna end up making, instead of him saying Groot all the time, he might end up learning how to talk.
right, hopefully.
Yeah, so far the trailer, I mean, it looks like more of what we saw from the first movie, in Guardians of the Galaxy. So we're just going to be an adventure. It's just with everything that we're seeing in each different movie, from Captain America and Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like, man, it's like we want to kind of like know, okay, how they're going to end up meeting up, because you got Guardians of the Galaxy that are, of course, out in space, and then all this stuff is going to be going down on Earth, or are they going to go into space? So it's all wonder where is this all going to take place when they when they confront Thanos.
All this leads me to
I believe everything's going to still take place on Earth. Earth seems to be the center of the attention of the whole galaxy.
Yeah,
because that's where Star-Lord was from. That's where all the Avengers basically are. Mm-hmm. And Thor hops from Earth to his planet like regularly. And I believe Earth is like the center attention for everything.
Yeah, because they haven't gone into space too much as far as in the movies, other than, Guardians of the Galaxy takes place out there. But yeah, you're right. Everything has taken place on Earth for the most part.
On Earth. Uh-huh. And go ahead.
Oh, only thing this makes me wish that would happen is that Marvel somehow convinced Fox to let Fantastic Four and the X-Men get in this somehow, some way.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Oh, yeah, that ain't happening.
Look, there's the only thing I got to say. When the whole thing with the Fox thing, if Logan is the last movie, and they're not going to use the Wolverine name or at all anymore with Fox, give it back to Marvel. Can we get Hugh Jackman in Infinity War? That's all I'm asking. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. I know Hugh Jackman wants it too.
I think they're going to try to hang their hat on the success of Deadpool.
Yeah, they are. Because Logan's rated R.
And yeah, but the thing is, Deadpool, even though it was rated R, it was more of a comedy, than anything.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
I mean, the Logan looks dark. It looks like it's gonna have some action in it, but it looks like the storyline is gonna be really complex.
But one thing though, here's the thing. This is some people who may not have read the Old Man Logan comic book. When you look at the trailer, like, imagine if Marvel had that license like they should have had it, if they would have, just stuck and kept hold of the license like they should have. The guys that they're fighting in there, those opposed to, in the comic book, those are Hulks.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Those are Hulks.
That's why I'm not too thrilled about this, because Bruce is like the bad guy of this whole Logan series. That's why I'm like, y'all kind of confusing me on this Logan. And it's kind of, are they going to play it by the comic, or are they going off their own like merits? And
I think they're kind of going off their own
storyline.
I think they're kind of going off their own story. They're probably going to tie it back to like Weapon X, or I don't know if Stryker's still alive in this one, or somebody that's probably descended from Stryker. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be somebody that's probably associated with the Weapon X program, which is why they're trying to get X-23. Because for those who don't know, just not to give away too much of the movie, if they play it this way, X-23 is from Wolverine's DNA, which is kind of sort of like his daughter. So that's the relationship that's going on in the movie. So,
and is looking at the situation of this movie, I mean, I'm seeing Wolverine all bloodied and scratched up. Like, what happened to my dude healing factor?
Well, you know what? I don't want to tell too much. I don't know what they're going to say in the movie. I got to tell you off air, as far as a little bit more about Old Man Logan. As far as how that,
It looked like he hadn't even used his claws in a long time. Like
that's kind of sort of around the premise. I don't want to give too much. I don't want to spoil it for the listeners, so I would really let them, pick up the comic book, go see the movie.
Pick up.
Yeah. So
the comic book is totally different from the movie, people.
Definitely.
I just want to make that clear.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather read the comic because they're more interesting. But I love the movies too. So
I wish Marvel hadn't. I mean, I understand why they sold rights to certain companies because they were trying to keep their company afloat.
Yeah.
And the only way they could do that was selling them rights to the highest bidders or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But do like Sony did. Sony went and teamed up with Disney to make Spider-Man better.
They had to.
Very true.
They had to, man.
Yeah.
They had to because Amazing Spider-Man 2, though I liked it personally, it bombed. It didn't do the numbers they expected. And they were thinking about doing a Sinister Six and doing a separate Venom movie on top of that. And they couldn't risk that chance of putting all that money into both of those movies. And they both just bombed. So they didn't have a choice. But Fox, they actually found the formula with Deadpool to what they need to do with their movies now. Fantastic Four is a whole different story. I think they need to just give that back because none of the movies they've done have done well for Fantastic Four.
I actually like the Chris Evans Fantastic Four. I mean, they could have just kept it like that and just made it better, but I don't.
Didn't they have Green Lantern too?
Yeah, they did. Green Lantern.
Was it Fox or was it Universal? Somebody had Green Lantern.
No, Green Lantern was with DC. Well, was it Fox? Was it Fox?
Was it Fox or was it Warner Brothers? It was somebody. I can't remember who did Green Lantern.
It was Warner Brothers, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Anything dealing with
Warner
DC
Brothers
is with Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers just need to stick to doing Batman and Superman movies. They had more success with the Batman movies.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think they rushed that completely. It could have went a totally different way, but by them rushing a new character on a thing like that, I think they were just pushing without really going through a good storyline. They had the actor, but the storyline was way off base.
Yeah.
But
heard we probably getting the Jon Stewart. We're getting the Black Green Lantern, but crossing fingers.
Oh, here you go. And then guess what? We gonna hear Twitter explode with all these racist people.
Hey man, hold on. Man. Twitter gonna explode when Black Panther come out. Let's get that straight.
Exactly. They already mad about this cast.
They were mad about Luke Cage.
Oh my God, Luke Cage was just ridiculous. I'm like, y'all done had all these years of shows being about y'all. And you get mad because they do a mini series.
We still got the Cloak and Dagger to come out, so there's still more to hate about it. But hey,
let's talk about.
Guess what?
What's up, here?
Guess what? As much as they gonna claim they hate the movie Black Panther, I bet they all be up in there watching it.
Of course.
That movie's gonna be so good. I just feel it.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about Marvel's new show Legion coming on FX. Comes out on February 8th, which is this Wednesday. So to answer your question from earlier, Legion is Professor Xavier's son. He is what's called an Omega level mutant. So Omega level mutants are the most powerful mutants in Marvel Universe. He's a schizo. He has various personalities, and all his personalities has different powers. And to show you as far as how powerful he is, pretty much any superpower you can probably think of off the top of your head that you've seen, he can do it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he has thousands of personalities.
Oh, wow.
So I'm hoping it's going to be a good show because this is the first time FX has done anything with a Marvel license. Of course, which is FX is basically associated with Fox. Of course, they got Gotham on Fox, and they got Lucifer, which is another DC show. So this is the first time they get their hands on a Marvel licensed for a TV show. So crossing my finger, hopefully it does good. Other thing I'm hoping, because a lot of the stuff, like if you read the Legion comic book, a lot of the events take place in his mind, which is what from the trailers I'm seeing, it looks like that's what a lot of it's going to go on, is taking place in his mind. But I really hope that it's not one of those things. It's kind of like, give you an example. If you've seen Inception, if you watch Inception, you don't pay attention good enough, you get lost. I hope it's not one of those type of shows where you just...
I swear to God, I hated that movie.
So, it's like, I hope it's not... I have that kind of vibe from it a little bit. I'm like, I hope it's not. I hope it's not one of those shows that it's hard to follow it. I hope it's easy to follow, because that's going to make or break it for some people. I know for me it will.
I mean, Inception was... Like, I think that's Leo's worst movie.
No, it's not his worst movie. No.
It's not the worst movie. It's
Eating Gilbert Grape was better. Speaking of that movie, let's talk about Johnny Depp right quick. Did y'all see the trailer for the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie?
And I am stoked about it.
Me too.
This is going to be pretty awesome.
I fell asleep on the last one.
Pirates. What? Well, the last one was kind of boring.
But somebody finally
it had me. It was kind of boring because it drifted off from like the darkness of the Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah. Pirates of the Caribbean is supposed to be scary. This is about pirates who are dead. So it's going to have that spooky feel to it. And they kind of lost that with all the other hoopla and crap that they had.
Because World's End was like the best.
Yeah, exactly. And it was very dark. And you didn't see any of that coming in World's End. But I think they're getting back to the creepiness of what drawn us to love about the Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a Disney movie, don't get me wrong, but it has a sort of darkness that pulls you into it to actually want to watch it and want to be like, well, dang, that was kind of heartless, but dang, I like it. That kind of like hurt my heart when I went to Disney World, like seeing the dude they had dressed up as Jack Sparrow. I was just like, nah, dude. They can get away with that.
It was born from a theme park ride. That's what the movie was. That was the movies was how it was incepted. It wasn't really an idea as a movie. It was a ride that they turned into a movie.
My thing was they get away with it with the princesses. But when you got Jack Sparrow, I mean, I know Johnny Depp can't be there every day, but I'm just saying, you might as well just cartoon them out and just make it into a mask or something. Don't have no actual human trying to play, especially if he ain't got swag like Johnny Depp.
That's Disney fault there, bro.
All right, we got let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about we're gonna talk about Powerless, Power Rangers, and we're gonna do the Miles Morales, and then that'll be the rest of the topics. Powerless, real quick. Did any of you guys get a chance to catch it? I know I actually watched it.
It's kind of like it's do you guys remember Community?
Yeah, it's very Community.
With of course Gambino. That's the main reason why I watched Community, and his best friend on there, the best friend that was on Community, he's on Powerless. So it makes it kind of funny, but I don't think it's going to last more than a season. If not, maybe 6 episodes.
It's a fun use of the DC license because all the referencing of the different, and they're not really too restricted on who they can and can't mention. Right. But on the comedy portion, it's like they're trying to. It's very, like you said, it's very Community-esque type of show. What I kind of wish was, what I was kind of hoping, I mean, I know it's going to have a funny aspect to it, but what they really could have done, that probably would have made the show stand out a little bit more, because you got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that's on ABC, and NBC could have had Powerless, where they are in can't think of the name of the city that they're in. But basically, it could have been. I feel like Powerless could have been, if they would have did it right, it could have been their Agents of Shield, because they work in a Wayne company, and so they mention Bruce Wayne all the time. So I think that if they would have just did something, and kind of like, they could have still had a little bit of comedy, but they could have had, like, serious moments. I think they could have did something really good with their license. But kind of what I'm saying, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna give it one more chance this week when it comes on. If not, then I'm probably not gonna watch it again. If I don't, nothing catches me.
Right.
All right, we got Power Rangers movie. So, Power Rangers movie comes out March 24th. I'm hyped for the Power Rangers movie. Like, I know people been getting mixed reviews about, how the Zords look and all this other stuff, but nah, man, everything I've been seeing, they're going a different route with it, but it still makes sense. So
exactly, it's still the original version, but with an updated, I say, software. They're still sticking to the 5 teenagers from Angle Grove and the original, but I like the part that they have like a darker version of the Power Rangers this go round. Like, they not all cupcakes and rainbows, that they got a dark past to them and in trouble, and it takes like one little epic moment to actually bring them together. So it's pretty cool for the new kids, new generation.
Mm-hmm.
I know one thing. After this movie drop, they're going to have to go back and revamp the TV show.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Young, we had a conversation about this. Yeah, it's gotten very, very kid-oriented. Like, for real.
Yeah.
They're going to have to do something about that TV show. Because after those folks watch that movie, they're not going to want to go back and watch the TV show. Watch the ratings drop.
Yeah.
Right.
And then also, I know, Tink, you're going to be going to Mississippi Comic-Con. They're going to actually have the Blue Ranger, the original Blue Ranger.
David Yost, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to meet him. I got a chance to meet Rocky and Adam from the original. Well, they were in the original Power Rangers movie that, oh goodness, eons ago. But not telling my age. But they were at last year's Mississippi Comic-Con, which is pretty cool. And you got a chance to meet them, take pictures, and they signed autographs. And it was really cool to be happening to this little state of Mississippi.
I wanted to go, and if I would have met Adam, I wasn't going to even go in there. I wasn't going to even call him Adam. Ichigo, what's up, bro?
That man has done so much voiceover work. His resume is pretty full.
To me, Ichigo is his best character. He like really brings that character to life.
Yeah.
Like, I know he ain't that anime guy counts.
Oh man. Mm-mm-mm.
But yeah, we'll definitely. Go ahead.
Oh, as far as Power Rangers movie, like, I've seen what the Morphers look like. We've seen the Zords, what the Megazord gonna look like. I think the most interesting aspect is how they revamped the story of the Power Rangers, as far as like Zordon was the original Red Ranger, Rita was the original Green Ranger, things like that. I think that's what's like that everybody was previously a Power Ranger, all the folks that we know to be the older, wiser people, and that the Power Rangers didn't come from a different. Well, I don't know how they gonna go about that, but and isn't Bryan Cranston supposed to be Zordon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy, from Breaking Bad.
Yep.
Yes.
And the new look for Alpha. Yeah, that's definitely not our childhood.
Yeah, it's very alien-like. So because it's based off the powers from Alien. So But on the Mississippi Comic Con, Tink will be at the Mississippi Comic Con, so she'll be getting us footage for NerdFlow Facebook. So make sure you guys like the page. So when she does get to meet Blue Ranger, you'll be able to see it live on Facebook. So make sure you guys like NerdFlow Facebook. So then the last topic we got. Miles Morales Spider-Man production. So I know nothing of this, so Tink, I'm gonna let you take this one.
All right. Some insight on the new Spider-Man, and it's not the one you're expecting. This Spider-Man is Miles Morales, and he's from a totally different dimension. He is a biracial cat that's half Puerto Rican, half black, and getting his own anime movie.
Cool.
And that's set to drop next year around December. And Miles, he's from Brooklyn, from Brooklyn, and in this separate universe from the original Spider-Man, where Peter Parker is the main Spider-Man. In his universe, Peter Parker dies. So he has to take the mantle of being Spider-Man. And they pretty much have the same villains and whatnot, but it cranked up a notch. Like, they're all bigger and badder than what Peter Parker has to go through.
Okay.
But what I liked about what they did with this is to where we having all these diverse characters coming out, like Black Panther, Falcon, War Machine. Everybody, by them being like black, they're adding a little more diverse to the scene. And so Miles, they already portrayed him on Disney XD.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
And Ultimate Spider-Man. And he's played by none other than Donald Glover, aka Mr. Atlanta, aka Childish Gambino, or Troy on Community. He's just blowing up. So I'm waiting to see if he's gonna take the role to be the lead character in the movie, in the animation again, or if not. But it's gonna be interesting to see.
He's all over Spider-Man because he's in the Spider-Man Homecoming, but nobody knows what his role is, though.
Right. So he's just staying in there. So hopefully he can reprise his role as Miles, because I believe he is Miles to me. Because from his stand-up, he was like, if he got a chance to play, he came with his Spider-Man pajamas on. And even the creator of Miles was like, what if I did a Spider-Man that was black and mixed? And even the creator, when he saw, it was the episode of Community where he had on his Spider-Man pajamas. And the creator of Miles was like, what if we could put together a biracial Spider-Man? That would be pretty sick. And by his character being so popular, they ended the comic series of the Marvel Universe. But they kept him because he was the most popular out of all of it. So this is going to be pretty hot to see. Miles. They kept Miles' part.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, man. So this was the first episode of NerdFlow. But before we end everything, you can get this podcast on Spreaker. We'll be coming to more podcast sites in the near future. For those who are, if you want to support the podcast and you like what you hear, make sure you guys visit patreon.com/nerdflow. With with the Patreon, you can get new episodes. You can get the episodes early before they hit Sprinkler and iTunes. And also we'll have different stuff for donators of the show where you can get. We'll be doing free giveaways. We'll have some bonus episodes from NerdFlow as well. So make sure you guys visit our Patreon page to check all of that out. I want to say that's probably it, man. The first episode of NerdFlow is down in the books, and we went for about an hour and 15 minutes. It was a pretty long show, so.
Well, y'all be easy, man. I gotta go find me something to eat.
All right. So
all right.
we're out.
All right, one.